Hello, my name is Gerard Kennedy. My area of concentration is grades 7 through 12 English, and the evidence-based practice I chose to discuss for this presentation is scripting. The first question to be addressed is, what exactly is scripting? Scripting, as the name implies, is all about the utilization and application of scripts as the learning tools. These scripts can serve as the baseline for a myriad of situations and interactions that students with disabilities may struggle with on their own without proper guidance. The practice of scripting can be especially useful for younger students who may have disabilities that affect their social interactions. Additionally, nonverbal students can be taught with scripts to boost their confidence in interacting with people around them. One can also make the argument for students who may have issues controlling disruptive behavior as in need of scripting as well. The wide breadth of applicable cases for using scripting is due to the fact that it is practical for both inside and outside of the classroom. Proper classroom behavior can be scripted, as well as learning to make friendly conversation or respectfully engage strangers. This technique is not necessarily limited to students with disabilities either, as the aims that it seeks to accomplish could be helpful for any student who may have relevant weaknesses. Is it useful? An evidence-based practice should have evidence, obviously, to back up its claims. Is scripting useful? Well, all signs point to yes. If everyone would look at the handout, the section labeled Data Research to Support Use with SWD will go into detail in summarizing some scholarly articles and studies that suggest the effectiveness of this practice on students with disabilities. For the purposes of avoiding repeating myself word for word, I'll paraphrase here. The first article, Using Visual Script Interventions to Address Communication Skills, details how autistic children's communication skills have benefited from the scripting process. These results are consistent across grade levels as well, it seems, as the studies performed demonstrate success across a wide range of ages. The next article details how kindergartners and first graders who were taught using scripting were compared to those who did not, and the results indicated much higher social fluency on behalf of the former, illustrating the effectiveness. Finally, the article promoting independence, verbal behavior, and social skills in individuals with autism through activity schedules and script fading illustrates how scripting encourages independence socially in students with disabilities and gives them alternate strategies such as using pictures to augment the scripting process. It can be plainly seen that this evidence-based practice is indeed backed by research. As I am an English teacher, I would like to mention how people in my position could potentially apply this practice. In the English classroom, the emphasis on social and emotional skills is arguably higher than in any others. For many, and especially students with disabilities, this can cause a good deal of anxiety with group projects, presentations, reading out loud, etc. Running through scripts may assuage some sense of anxiety that these students might have regarding all of those realities in the ELA classroom. Scripting also helps to begin assuming what to expect from other people by putting ourselves in the shoes of another, which is the very basic foundation of establishing a sense of empathy, an absolutely imperative skill in literary study. I teach quite a bit of Shakespeare, and love when my students get up to the front of the room to act, so practice reading off of a script could not hurt that kind of activity for sure. Finally, the English classroom is a place where opinions and emotions are welcome to be shared. Unfortunately, these can occasionally be very strong emotions that interrupt or even become hurtful to others. Training with scripts to avoid saying certain things, despite any amount of flaming passion, could be a great way to make sure everyone feels safe sharing their thoughts. In this section of the presentation, I will detail some basic steps on how to employ scripting in any classroom. Obviously, anyone is welcome to make any tweaks or adjustments as they need, but I have read and found these to be the most structured and concrete. First step, choose a desired behavior. This could be anything. What to do when called on in class, how to act respectful when addressed by an adult, or even how to be a better friend. Help the student with a disability or otherwise identify a problem area they are struggling with or could improve upon and focus the script around that. The script will seek to practice for essential skills like kindness, proper classroom behavior, ability to make human connection, etc., which will no doubt improve the student's quality of life inside the school and out. It should also be noted that this can be used to eliminate negative behaviors as well. For example, if a student is prone to getting in fights, what steps can be taken to avoid that extreme result? The behavior is up to the instructor's discretion. Step number 2. Compare the behavior to that of the students as peers. Think about where the child should be at the age they are at. Looking at benchmarks such as learning standards can help in this aspect. Some behavioral quirks that may need the help of scripting can also be plain enough to just see and know immediately that it is not normal for a school setting. Knowing when to intervene is key. Students who may have developmental delays do struggle to keep up with students their own age, so scripting fits very well in helping them catch up to the state-mandated levels of academic achievement or average social interaction in general. Step number 3, writing a learning objective. All great lessons begin with a learning objective. As we all know, when assembling a learning objective, it is always a good idea to consult Bloom's taxonomy, as shown here. An example learning objective for scripting I have provided is: the student will be able to synthesize experience with social scripting in order to adapt to future experiences with similar real-life scenarios. The objective shows that the process of scripting will help the student improve in the future, which should be the aim of any sort of learning goal. As we are all effective instructors, this should not be an issue. Step number 4, write the script. In the presentation, I have included an example of a basic script to give to younger students so that we all have an idea as to what one can look like. It includes pictures and multiple choice options for responses, as well as color for extra clarity. The key with the first script that is assembled is that it will be step by step, leaving only a small amount of space for student choice. This establishes the basis for their future encounters with the scenario depicted. Step number 5, teach the script and give examples. Let the student read and interact with the script. Ask questions like, when should I use this script, after a guided example performance of it has been given. The student indicating where and when it could be applicable shows they know that they can apply it somewhere at some point. The worst thing that can happen is the student believing it is a pointless exercise in futility, so demonstrating value and relevance is key here. Number 6, implement the script activity. Complete the I do, we do, you do process by first running through the script with the student, allowing them to practice with the instructor. Then, correct as necessary. After, give them time to either practice the script with a partner or assign the activity to do at home with another adult. This should present plenty of opportunity for question or confusion to arise, and then summarily be addressed to make the process as smooth and informative as possible. Step number 7, repeat process but fade the script. Repeat the process of making lessons around the script, but begin to fade it more and more each time. Eliminate elements. Go for bullet points or main ideas instead of word for word. The objective here is to wean them off of the need for a script and point them towards independence in future real-life situations. The pace at which this is done is completely depends on the discretion of the instructor, but as long as it is a gradual process, it should be fairly intuitive for the student. Clearly, the process of scripting has plenty of utility that is not necessarily limited to the English classroom. Scripting can be used across content areas to generally improve classroom behavior, to make the learning environment a more welcoming and respectful place for all students. While it is shown to be more helpful with younger students, there's no reason scripting cannot be differentiated for an older audience. Guidance counselors and administration like principals can apply scripting to address students who may be prone to cause trouble with outbursts of emotions in confusing scenarios. Scripting can boost confidence in one's own ability to act in a good deal of situations, so it can plainly be seen that it is a useful practice worth applying into any classroom for beneficial results. Thank you for your time.